So the question is, if you could talk to somebody else who was track day guy or track day girl, loves motorcycles, thinks about racing, but maybe they're a little scared or they don't know really what to expect, what would you tell them now that you're like a pro?
Well, I'm not a pro, but I
you
guess
look like a pro.
that's because I had the wrong leathers. I had your leathers on.
So listen, at the risk of sounding, you know, I wanted to say that I'm sincerely, I'm proud of you. Yeah, that just sounds fucked up.
Thank you. You're gonna cut that section out, right?
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
You did it. I broke your chops about it. We talked about it. We made the video about it. And
Yeah.
you actually came through. Think you can actually swing while I'm talking to you?
We'll see.
This ball's going by you, motherfucker.
Oh, I should have taken all the pitches.
Oh my God. So, honestly, to tell you the truth, you're better at batting than you are at riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, this is a lot of heat. Because I gotta show I'm good at something. Because it's not riding motorcycles.
No, so tell me. I mean, you did it. I really am. I really am proud of you for doing it. What was it like? What happened? I mean, if you could talk to yourself right now, but yourself is a year ago, right? You have a conversation with Derek a year ago. What do you say?
I mean, it was otherworldly. Like,
That sounds like Disney World a little bit.
yeah, it was. Fuck, that's inside.
Oh.
That's inside.
That might be over.
That's over.
We're gonna have to go there and get those balls.
Yep. I always watch. I mean, I watched you guys at Sonoma for the first time before I ever got in the track, and fuck.
Oh, that's not over, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And you guys, like, I thought to myself, I'll never be able to do that. I'll never be able to get out there and ride with these guys. I think that was over too. I mean, I ride on the weekends. That'll never be me. It was intimidating just to get to the track day, let alone a race day.
Yeah, track days are intimidating, sure.
Yeah.
But a race, what was the difference?
The intensity was turned up to 11, 12.
You're done. I knew it!
Oh my God.
Dude, if I was pitching against you, you would hate me.
I know.
So here's a question for you. We went Friday to the track day.
Yeah.
And you raced Saturday. What did you feel like Wednesday? The Wednesday before the weekend.
You know, it was
compared
okay.
to a track day.
It was okay. I've had this experience before for a jiu-jitsu tournament. First jiu-jitsu tournament I ever did.
Okay.
It's okay, like a few days before, you feel like, I've got time. But then the closer you get, oh, it ramps up. It gets like, day before, you're like, oh, I'm not sleeping really good. Like,
But what were you nervous about?
I was nervous about not being good enough to even survive on the track with the other guys. Like, I know I'd be the slowest guy out there, but I didn't want to get out there and people say, look, appreciate you coming out. Please go home, rethink your life. and come back when you're way faster.
That happens on American Idol. Sometimes people like try out and they're like, hey, listen, you know, you did a great effort.
Yeah.
Come back in a couple of years.
Exactly. That's what I was most afraid of.
All I have to do is pitch you short or pitch you high. And
Yeah.
you are like handcuffed. Was the test hard? Like the AFM made you take a test? Like,
No.
you know, read the booklet, memorize stuff, get the common sense stuff down.
It was, no, the test was all right.
Did you get them all right?
I did, actually.
That's remarkable.
And the rider's evaluation was fine.
Did you get spooked when I buzzed you?
So I didn't, because, and I think the reason why is, oh, that's low. The last track that I went to, I signed up for B, which is my, like, where I should be. And they said, look, we don't have spots. You're gonna have to go up or down. And they said, there's nobody in A. Do you feel comfortable move you up to A? And I said, okay. And so all day long, people were ripping by me close. So I kind of got used to it. And when it was rider evaluation time, it wasn't that scary.
Does this throw you off at all?
Yeah, that does.
Does this throw you off at all? So getting buzzed didn't freak you out.
It was okay, yeah.
Now we have to get to the meat of it. Now we're past the anticipation and the worrying and all that stuff. You got through that. You get through the school, you pass your test, the rider evaluation. What'd you do? You just went around the track, right?
Yeah, it was just a normal practice session.
Normal practice session, but I came and got close to you a couple of times.
Gavin cut under me in turn 4.
Gavin cut under you, because Gavin's a rider, eval rider, whatever.
Yeah.
So we both kind of went after you, and I thought you did fine. So
Yeah.
now, it's Saturday.
This is why you dragged me out here.
All you had to do Saturday was go through practices, right?
Yeah,
Which you did.
without crashing.
Kind of like, all you have to do is hit that pitch. Out. Sorry, that didn't go out. That's what they said. Just survive all the practices without crashing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're done.
They said
That was out.
that was out.
I didn't think you'd hit that.
They said we're putting you in group 2, and if your lap times are faster, come on in. We'll
And they obviously weren't fast.
they were slower. I wish there was a group 1.
Nobody came to you complaining you were too fast.
And
what
no
you're
one, I mean, more importantly, no one came to me telling me I was too slow.
That's a good point. So, the last thing you have to do to get your license is what?
Is not crash in the Clubman.
And the Clubman is what?
It's the last race of the day.
And Clubman is like your race.
Yeah.
It's pretty much only new riders.
It's
only new racers, sorry. Racers.
Yeah, it's supposed to be new racers.
So, I was in the race before yours.
Yep.
Finished quite well, I might add.
Yep.
Rushed to the pit wall to watch your race.
Oh.
And you know what? Your race went kind of like that foul ball
Yeah.
did.
It went worse than that foul ball. At least I hit that foul ball.
What happened in your race? I'm standing on pit wall next to Jason Uribe, He's watching his dad, who's a new racer, and I'm watching you. So his dad's his new racer, and you're my new racer, and we're standing next to each other, and I'm like, who's got money on what? We're gonna do this thing. You're going down. He's
I
like,
hope
you're
you didn't
going
bet on
down.
me.
Well, the flag drops.
How much do you lose? Oh, fuck.
That's kind of the way it went. No, wait.
I'm not supposed to
Take
swear
the
on
bat,
this, am I?
Throw your bat against the backstop, and that's about how it went.
Yeah. I apologize. This is supposed to be a PG-13 show here. Yeah.
Somehow, you went from like my proudest moment. I was so proud of you. You got to the track, and here you are racing. You came through, and they dropped the flag, and my pride was like someone pulled the air out of the blue. You know, like those flippy guys at the gas stations, like this. All of a sudden, it's like.
You think your guy went like that?
Then he grounds out to third base.
Well, I was on pole, which was a problem to begin with.
Why? Because what'd that do? It got you emotional?
Well,
So you can admit it.
everyone's
No one
behind
else
me.
is here, dude. You can admit you got emotional.
Yeah, everyone's behind me.
No, but you have to say it like this. Everyone was behind me.
So I didn't want to get run over, and I was like,
So you didn't want to get run over, so you figured you'd stop in front of everybody and get run over.
well, fuck.
I have got your number.
I know. Well, I got too excited and I dumped the clutch right when the green flag
So
went.
you were uncomfortable because there was rows behind you.
Well, and it was the first race, and I knew, I saw all the people on the wall. There were
All those people, the crowd went crazy.
It was the crowd, and there were so many people that I knew were there to watch me race, and I didn't want to let everyone down. That's like, because everyone was so excited.
Funny? It's funny that the things that you're afraid about doing, you usually do.
Yeah.
And you did it so well. There, you're done.
Oh, that's no third baseman's getting that.
Dude, if I was on third base, you were out like a Hoover vacuum.
Yeah. You don't move that fast. I know.
No, but if I had a Hoover vacuum, I probably would have caught it. You're done.
Oh yeah. That's at least a double.
That's a double. So what happened?
So
Physically, what happened?
well,
Because it looked terrible.
it felt terrible. So I don't know. I was ready for the 3-2-1 board. It drops. Green flag comes out, and I'm like, I'm so ready to get it going that I just got the revs up. I dumped the clutch, and it wheelies. When I shut the gas off, engine dies.
Well, let me
Right?
ask you something. You drive a stick shift, right?
Yeah.
What happens when you dump the clutch in the Bobcat, Hoover Cat? What's your car? Smoking
The
car?
Challenger.
Whatever. Challenger.
Well,
Do good things happen when you dump the clutch?
usually, a big burnout and
Or do people go like, Derek, what are you doing?
a big roar from the crowd on a big burnout. That's what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a roar. There was a roar, but it wasn't from the crowd. So, you dump the clutch,
Yeah.
and the bike goes, whoop!
Yep.
I will give you credit. You saved it. Because 2 weekends prior at Buttonwillow, a new racer looped it. Like, he went up, and it was like, whoa, whoa! And then
Yeah.
oil went over the track. It was a disaster.
Hopefully it was the last race of the day.
You went up like this and immediately caught it and went down. And then what happened?
Well, my gut reaction was, fuck, start the bike again and let's get it going.
But it wasn't stalled, right?
The engine died.
Oh, it was stalled? I didn't know it stalled.
The engine died, yeah. It stalled. So, I mean, my gut reaction was, I gotta start it again and like, get off this line. And that was the wrong move.
But you somehow wheelied the thing 3 times.
Yeah.
You started, blew it, stalled it, crashed. Started, blew it, stalled it, crashed, and then did it a 3rd time. And then finally they were like, get off the track!
It wasn't my finest moment, I'll say that.
It wasn't 3 of your finest moments.
Yeah.
So here's one for you. Now you had to go see Barb. So you sat there in the sidelines and watched your race.
Yep.
With all the real men going around and women.
Yep.
Going around, ripping around while you.
Yeah. Yes.
How did that feel?
It's a good thing that my shield was tinted.
Were you crying actually?
No, I was a mess. I was a mess.
Are you sure you weren't crying? I feel like maybe there was some tears.
That
there.
was later that night.
Yeah. Wait a minute, later that night we were in the hotel together. That wasn't snoring? I thought you were snoring. You were crying?
I was probably both.
It was like, like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you talked to Barb.
Yes.
After the race, Derek Kennedy, please come to the principal's office. You've been a bad boy.
That's what it sounded like.
I'll tell you a story. You know when the first time I got called to the principal's office?
Yeah.
You know when it was?
I don't know. First race?
My first race in the AFM.
What happened?
I was going through this sweeper at Sears, and I was trying to make up a lot of ground, which you tend to do in racing. But I had a lot more experience than you. I had 16 years on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I came here, I'm going. And there was somebody that was on one trajectory and I was on another trajectory. And somehow at this one particular moment,
Intersected.
in a super fast sweeping turn, I passed him and I might have touched him. Might a little bit. He didn't crash. I didn't touch him that hard, but it was, I got yelled at. So you got yelled at. What did she mean? She could be, I think she grew up with bullies, or boys, all boys in her family.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it,
No, it was like, I mean.
She's got to control a paddock with like 90% men, 10% women, they're all on testosterone treatment.
True. It was like, in her mind, I disobeyed the rules on purpose, which I didn't.
She doesn't realize that you're stupid.
Yeah, yeah. She didn't realize my IQ is sub 75, right? So I wasn't, I mean, when I wheelied and stalled the bike, I was like, the last thing went through my head was, oh, in NRS, they said wave your arms like the inflatable tube man. My first thought was, I need to get going because the racetrack is not a place to be standing still on.
Yeah, well, in truth, I think I might have handled it the same way because your wave was gone. There was no one who's going to run you over from behind. So, you recovered from the Barb beating your brow.
Yes.
And now they let you race Sunday.
They let me race in open
Why?
times.
Because she looked at your lap times?
I asked her if I am still able to race, and then the woman in the passenger seat said, well, he didn't crash, and that's how you pass, is you don't crash in the Clubman.
And you didn't.
I
so
didn't.
if you looped it and crashed, done.
Done.
But you saved it.
But I saved it. So
3 times. Just to make sure. I have to say that because Uribe was right behind me, right next to me, and yeah, and I was like, oh God.
So,
my guy didn't win.
Yep. So, yeah, she said, I will look at your lap times and see if you can race
So
tomorrow.
you now know that somebody analyzed your lap times and was like,
Hell, I was afraid to look
He
at
is
him.
cooking.
I was.
He
I didn't want-
deserves a license. That guy's going. He's lighting the track on fire.
You know, they probably looked up the wrong guy, or the paper with my lap times got stuck to another guy's. So
how did your race go? Your race Sunday.
yeah,
Now you already have a license because she said yes. There was no more tests Sunday. You're just a racer, right?
I guess it didn't feel like that.
Yeah, it kind of felt like you were on probation.
It felt like I still had a lot to prove or own up to be counted as a racer.
I kind of had the same impression, oddly.
So
That's why I said, don't crash.
Yeah.
Start in third gear if you have to, not to launch the bike.
Yeah, so luckily I was starting at the back of the grid in open twins. And I was treating it as I was at Page Mill in El Camino and I was leaving a green light on a Sunday morning. Like, that's how I was treating it, you know?
With the church open right in front of you
Exactly.
and there's traffic, right.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna, as gently as I can, get off the line because my goal today is to first get off the starting line.
That was the goal.
That was my first goal. And my second goal was to see the checkered flag at the end. That was my goal for the Sunday. So I made it off the line. I made it off the line.
And you made your race.
And I finished the race.
Did you get lapped by any chance?
I got lapped by almost everyone on the track. At least everyone had open twins.
Was I the first one to lap you?
Well, yeah.
Because
you were leading the race.
If it wasn't such a tight left, I was totally flipping you the bird or gonna hit your kill switch. One of the two.
Well, then I wouldn't have finished the race. So, yeah, you were the first one to lap me, and
you didn't get shaken up by anybody?
No, it was fine.
Because it's different. Racers, that's the thing. You were riding with racers.
They passed way closer.
Which is different than riding with track day people. Track day people, there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of, there's a lot more variables. Racing, you're just going. It's business.
Yeah. But I felt like on race day, everyone was riding close to their limits. On the track day, some people are riding way beyond their limits. And that's when it was scary. When people you can clearly see they are riding way faster than they should be. And it's erratic, and that's more scary, especially in B group. When I was up in A, everyone was predictable, and like I just held my line, and people passed me no problem. In B, it was wild.
I guess I'd say that it's like there's never a good time to have a kid, right? So there's never the perfect time to get on the racetrack for race weekend. You just have to do it. And I guess I would recommend it to those people at the track day that never miss a session. I feel like those people at the track day that they're like, I'm gonna take the session off, or I'm gonna take lunch and I'm gonna go home after lunch. Well, maybe it's not. I feel like the people that were there this past weekend, are the people that are super passionate, that wouldn't miss any of the time they had the opportunity to get on the racetrack. So to those people, I would say that, like you said, what are you waiting for? So just get the hell out there. It's such a good feeling when I made it to the pits after and I got high fives all around, even though I was dead last. I still have a trophy. Third, open twins, novice.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next weekend.
Awesome.